Even two pretty well-known defense lawyers, attorneys, have gone to federal court trying to stop the Judicial Tenure Commission hearing where Judge James has been hammered with questions about misconduct. Now, she was back in Dearborn Heights court today, but a federal judge elsewhere is now also involved.
All rise. Court's in session. Please be seated.
This was another day in court where Judge Sylvia James said that politics and her bitter feud with the mayor and others in Inkster city government drove the JTC's examination of her administration and her handling of court funds and personnel. But she and her lawyers have said that they are handicapped in her defense, claiming that the ammunition for her arguments of innocence have been stolen from her private space, where Action News is about to take you. It's important information, she says, items inside her private office, located in the back halls of the 22nd District Court, that were taken and not returned. Also at issue, she has not been able to talk to workers inside the court who may testify against her.
I don't want to go into particular evidence, but I know of some stuff in there, particularly that showed approval of specific items that they have not coughed up with.
Attorneys Mayor Morgenroth and Elliott Hall have filed a motion for preliminary injunction in federal court, trying to force the Judicial Tenure Commission to surrender documents that James believes will support her defense. The lawsuit also tried to stop the JTC administrative hearing that could lead to James' removal from the bench. The lawyers claim on several levels the judge's constitutional rights have been violated.
One instance, of course, is the illegal search and seizure where they grabbed her personal safe that she owned, purchased herself years ago, and broke into it.
They also say that some of the evidence presented against her, in particular, Judge James' use of money from the controversial Community Service Program bank account, were not really rule violations at all.
But none of the funds went personally to her. They're all related to some activity going on in the city of Inkster. And they've almost charged her with being criminally liable for embezzling these funds, and we think that's improper.
If you look at the actual fund and look at its purposes, it was for purposes that are permitted under the fund and have been permitted, I think, for some 23 years. Since its inception.
Now, that injunction filed in federal court also seeks at least $75,000, but up to $10 million in damages for what the case has done to Judge Sylvia James' life. The hearing will continue as scheduled tomorrow in Dearborn Heights because a federal judge today decided to put any further hearings in his court on hold. And so we have that document, and essentially the federal judge is saying, no, I'm going to wait until after the JTC is done before we decide anything in federal court.
So this isn't over anytime soon?
Absolutely not.
All right, Bill, thanks. We'll trust you to keep on it.
Absolutely.